proud Patriots fan. Let me make sure I get my arm right with the
Oh
hat
wow.
and tattoo.
Oh no.
So one of my best friends from since like middle school is actually a tattoo artist. So I got
Oh
a
cool.
couple while he was apprenticing,
For free?
and yeah,
Like
so that
are they
was one
like
of my
training tats? Is it like, hey, I'm not going to charge you, but I might get something wrong?
pretty much.
Oh man.
Yeah. So he's still basically still at training in the shop, like being supervised by some of the guys at the shop, and but they don't
Oh
charge you
wow.
for the tattoo while he's still apprenticing.
I mean, that's pretty cool, I have to say. But the Patriots part, I don't know. I don't know, man. Me, being a Broncos fan, we lost to the Patriots in AFC title games like way too many times.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now
At least you're not a Colts fan.
No, 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 never was a Colts fan, and it was actually kind of hard to root for. So this will offend you, right? But it was kind of hard to root for the Seahawks this year because when you're out west, you find yourself often in like a market that's kind of half Broncos, half Seahawks because there's so few towns that have teams between like Denver and the West Coast. But y'all got just out of nowhere all of a sudden good again. Like what's going on with that?
Crazy. Apparently, it's the Drake May or maybe the Vrabel effect.
Yeah.
To be determined. We'll see what happens next year, but
Yeah, I think maybe the quarterback play can come up, but he was being carried by the team for sure.
Oh yeah, it was rough because I feel like he had his worst games in the playoffs. I feel like he was doing way better during the regular season, so I don't know if it just got to him or maybe they were partying before the Super Bowl because they couldn't do anything in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a lot of times you see that first year for a quarterback in the Super Bowl, they do really poorly, or first year for like a young team. Well, hey, party people, DLDS Gaming today, day late, dollar short. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Glad it's Friday.
Yeah. Friday for us. So anything we talk about may be old news by the time the episode releases, and we are going to cover some fun Godforge drama for sure. But we were talking a little bit before I started recording about the name. Tell me where the name comes from.
Honestly, it was just a little bit of brainstorming when I decided to make the channel. I'm kind of a habitual procrastinator, so it kind of just fit my personality. Day late, dollar short, always procrastinating, coming in at the last minute. So I kind of just went with that, and it stuck.
So if you search for your name on Google, you really have to use no space there. You gotta spell it correctly, because if you do like a DLDS space gaming, apparently there's a ton of Latter-day Saint gaming channels, and it just ignores that first D. It's like LDS Gaming, LDS Gaming.
Wow. I have not done that, and that's crazy. Good to know, though.
Not where the name comes from.
Yeah, nope. Definitely not. Ugh.
So are you kind of in the same boat as me, kind of a newer content creator? Did you really get started with Godforge?
Yes. Godforge was basically started about a year ago, but it was just Godforge that I've been covering so far.
And were you a big raid player?
Yep. I think I started right before. I know it blew up during the pandemic. I think I started right before that big rush. I remember, I think my first fusion was Eligaius. It was one of the Halloween fusions.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that was pretty far back.
I got to look him up because I wonder if that was before I started. Oh, repping with the mug, too.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, I think that was before I started. But I pulled him, like you always do in Raid. I don't know if it's like seeded, or, there's all the conspiracy theories, but like half the legendaries you pull are fusion champs,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, like, Loriaka's one I skipped because I didn't want, and I got it. Even the Packmaster, I just skipped because I didn't want to do the fusion, then I got him. And I feel like there's a third one that I skipped because I didn't want, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like 3 right there that I can think of.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was one of the poison bomb champions or something.
It wasn't. Oh, well, Calvalex wasn't a fusion. My like
No, I wish I got
remains to this day
Cavalex.
most wanted champ. Yeah. Yeah, I think you are one of the. There's quite a few people in JGigs Discord, but you're one of the ones that I see actually write a message every now and then. Have you been following him kind of since the beginning?
I was actually pretty late to the JGigs party.
Hmm.
I kind of heard about him just through watching raid content because, everyone talks about everyone a little bit and hypes up the other creators. But it was really the Raidzilla video during when they did that awards show
Yeah.
with Hell Hades and Saffron Man. Once I saw Raidzilla, I just started deep diving into him and I was hooked right there after that.
Yeah, yeah. He's got a great sense of humor. His just underhanded comments out of the middle of nowhere. Not
Yep,
even like the stuff that's meant to be funny.
definitely agree.
Do you think so? Brandon and I were joking that we're gonna try to kind of try to keep the legacy of the free to play series alive. Do you think you're gonna have any JGigs influence in your videos?
I definitely think so. I would. That's kind of where I would like to get to when the game is out. Like right now, it's tough because we have all this just news that we're
Yeah.
getting fed. But once we get to actual gameplay, I would love to do like a. I'm not gonna play free to play, but just like a daily video of just
Hmm.
playing for like a half hour or whatever. I
And
was
use
even
Dusty
considering like
Dicks.
just streaming.
Well, yeah,
Use what?
Dusty Decks, that music that he
Oh,
always used in the
yeah.
background.
But yeah, I was thinking about like streaming it, and then I can just cut it down for a video and just have a daily kind of free to play series that isn't free to play, or free to succeed series that isn't free to play.
Yeah. Have you streamed before? Have you tried that yet?
I did like one stream during Alpha 1, I think.
Okay.
And then I
Twitch.
kind of got busy during Alpha 2. Yeah, I maybe, you know what, now that I think about it, I think I did two streams because I think my internet wasn't happy because I was trying to multi-stream to Twitch and YouTube. And then I did one stream just to Twitch.
Nice. I haven't tried it yet. I don't know. I've talked with a few people about the differences between the two mediums. You have a lot more control when you're editing, and I feel like with Twitch, it's easy to get distracted from what you're supposed to be doing, which is like entertaining, especially if you
Yeah,
start getting sucked into the game you're playing.
definitely. I mean, I was playing, and obviously it was my first time streaming, so I didn't really have any viewers. And then all of a sudden, I look down, and I actually have someone in the chat. I'm like, "Oh, whoa, what?" I totally got
Took you off
absorbed
guard.
in the game. And I was like 10 minutes late to respond to the person because I was just kind of chugging along, farming in the
Yeah,
alpha,
yeah.
whatever I was doing.
Yeah, I think your screen setup probably matters a lot. I need to join the degenerate 3 monitor crowd, but I have a vertical only because that's what'll fit at this point on the
Yep,
desk.
makes sense. Yeah, the layout was definitely tricky. I found myself looking away a lot because I had stuff over there. I got one
Hmm.
widescreen monitor, so it's kind of not great for streaming because you're always constantly twisting around looking at the different things you have set up on the different sides, but
Oh yeah.
try and figure it out.
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, there's so much you can do now with like a stream deck. I think you can run multiple cameras. You can like swap
Oh yeah.
angles, all of that. Build your stuff in OBS so that you have overlays and all that. It's a cool like creative medium, and that what you're talking about doing. It seems like the genius play, right? Is like stream and then cut videos off stream footage. A lot of very successful people doing that. But yeah, if you we'll put the Twitch channel below, right? So if you start streaming when the game comes out, we'll have it right here for posterity's sake.
Cool.
How'd you decide that you wanted to start making videos?
It was kind of just a weird combination of things. I had always just had a laptop since like college on, and I kind of bought a PC recently before I started streaming or wow, content creation. And I had been following Godforge for a while at that point, and I knew they had the kind of early bird. I know it's not really a program, but the early bird CC group thing, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I just kept seeing videos talking about, oh, if you want to start concrete content creation, just go, just get started, just jump in. And after, I don't know, I guess getting brainwashed by all those videos, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give it a shot. I'm really invested in Godforge, and it'd be great to be, work with the team. Not really, not officially, I guess I should say, but, you know, work with the team through Discord and chat with them and everything.
Yeah, it's a great group. There's a lot of support, in the channel. Susie's doing a good job. She's pulling a lot of people in with
Definitely.
Low, moderate experience, and we still got a lot of people with a high level of experience. Did you go through like some of like the material that the community created, like some of Brandon's videos?
Yep. I
Nice.
might have been in his when he was doing the thumbnails. I think I might have been there for that chat. And there were some chats that were in there before I joined the program. Then I checked those chats out too. They were real good.
Yeah, I'm looking at your thumbnails. Your thumbnails are better than mine. Where did you get the image on the 800 pulls for Viv? Did you just do a little generative?
That one is generative.
Yeah. It looks good.
Actually used the same thing for the Valentine's Day card competition that they did on the Discord channel. And I turned it into a thumbnail for the Viv video.
Nice. Like the guy that's offering the heart though is wearing like your logo face though, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think I actually only fed it my logo and an image of Viv, and it came out with the full body. I was like, okay, cool. This is working pretty good.
Yeah, hot on the heels of the conversation with Dan about AI in content creation, right? There's so much that you can do that just speeds your life up with the AI. Like one thing that that I use for sure is on my podcast thumbnails, you have the like just the person that's harvested from the video footage. And so like I call it AI, right? It's magic, but I'm pretty sure it's AI. In the photo editor, it's just like a remove background button, right? And somehow the photo editor is smart enough to like get it 90% of the way right, and then you just have minimal effort to kind of go paint it out. But if I was manually cutting out everybody on every frame, like it's so time intensive.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be extremely painful.
Well, you had a banger of a video lately, the giant store button video, which I don't want to. I mean, let's get into it, right? I'll be curious how this goes because part of me says I don't really want to take a side in this conversation, but I will say that my initial reaction when I watched Simon's live stream, I guess, when I watched the live stream, was just it wasn't like, oh, that egregious store button. It was like, dang, that thing was really big. That was just like my immediate thought. Dang, that thing's really big, dude.
I was basically the same. I was just like, holy crap, that's because it feels like it takes up a quarter of the screen. I know it obviously 100%. Doesn't, but just looking at it in the corner, the way it's set up, you're like, ooh, that's a big chunk of real estate.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that I hate it that much. I just kind of worried about the perception. Like, I've obviously been following the project since the start, and I know what the devs are about, too, as far as I've seen from Hell Hades for years, and I've watched a little bit of Dan when he was on Twitch, and I'm just worried about people coming in and seeing that giant button and being like, all right, the store is the same size as the battle. The battle's the most important part of the game, so is it as important as the store? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, like what were some of the big moments in the video, right? Because you made a few interesting points, and part of that is the symmetry, the balance, which is I think kind of what Hell Hades was defending to an extent, was like this was a user interface decision, not a enticement decision.
Yeah, one of my suggestions did throw off the symmetry, but it was just shrinking the button but giving it like a nice glow effect, so it still popped, but it just wasn't so enormous on the side of the screen. But my other idea that I thought throughout was, we know they're going to be adding more PvP modes after early access, so just split the PvP and the PvE. Have, I threw up some crappily designed thing that I just threw up and wrote text over the text that was there, but you know,
Yeah.
have an actual designed button for like Scion Trials, which is the PvP Scions versus Scion, and then like Explore Riven, because we know the world's going to be called Riven for all your PvE stuff, and then just have a normal store button, you know, wherever on the screen that fits.
Yeah, I like that idea. I remember when you put that mock up. I was impressed by that mock up that you mocked up and put up. And also, like, you know, we'll circle back to it, but the image that you put up when I was going back and forth with Adam that he should use golden beards, not golden stars. I couldn't tell if you like generated that, created it, or harvested it from some other game, but that looked really good.
The beard, I actually got pretty lucky with AI. I was using Gemini, and I fed it in one line, like, use a 5-star rating and show me 4 out of 5 beards. And it gave me 5 faces with beards on them. I'm like, all right, that's not even 4 out of 5. So I fixed the text a little bit to just say just the beard, no face, and that was what popped up after it. So I was like, oh, that's perfect out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a good one. This is the stuff I love using AI for. The
Yeah.
generated footage, or like you know, if you just told it give me a thumbnail, right? Those are the things where it's like want to avoid it, but creating the art to then inspire the thumbnail, things like that. Or like in this case, try to convince Adam to do the right thing for once in his life.
Right. He needs that beard rating system. He needs it on his channel and in his
100%.
Discord compendium, I think he's calling it.
I would call for people to put a comment on this video to say Adam do golden beards, but I think what would be better is if everybody went to a random Adam video and just put in the comment on that random Adam video, please do a gold beard rating system.
Yep, that'd be great. He just gets bombarded different videos.
Yeah, like his whole catalog going back a year.
This is a raid video. What the hell?
Yeah, on his raid video.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, the giant shop button. So I think I liked the battle button in the middle, right? And I think if you did battle button in the middle, then those smaller icons can fan out on either side of it, and that shop could be a smaller icon. And I hear what he was saying. What Simon was saying was that, like, to accommodate the phone user, which will be like the vast majority, it's your thumb right here, right on the corner of the screen, and that's going to be the button that you hit the most. And so then how do you balance that out on the other side of the screen? Which, honestly, I don't know that you really have to, because if you think about the user interface in a lot of phone games, it's got a really busy bottom right corner with like nothing on the left, you know, because of abilities and all that.
Yep, I definitely agree with that. I will say one person commented, so I think Vex actually made a video about it, or maybe it was just a long video and he mentioned it in it. And I commented on that video about the store button being aggressive, and someone was like, well, if there's no pop-ups, do you still think the store button's aggressive? I'm like, that's a fair trade-off for me, I'll take it. But I just still think you're setting that that first view of the screen, you're still looking at it like, ooh, that's a big button.
Yeah. But even in
still
Raid,
definitely a fair trade-off.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was going to say, even in Raid, like, getting a pop-up when you open the game to tell you that there's a pack on sale or something like that doesn't bother me. What bothered me in Raid was getting a pop-up in the middle of nowhere, like when you come out of the gear menu into the city menu, and you're about to hit the button that's naturally there, and the pop-up occurs as your thumb is descending, and then you accidentally hit the buy button, and then you have to back the transaction out. Like, that's what kills me, that type of behavior.
Yeah, I'm on the tinfoil hat team that they slightly adjusted that button, because I'd never hit it for like 3 years, and then all of a sudden I started hitting it. I'm like, what's going on here? But the thing that really gets me when you open the game is now they do that like special page for the events or competitions. So you get a pop-up, close out of it, get another pop-up, close out of it. Now you get this event pop-up, so you're getting 3 pop-ups as soon as you log into the game. That one drives me crazy.
Yeah.
It's like if I want to look at the event, I'll go to the event tab.
Right. Yeah, so you are still playing then. You're still playing as of today.
Yep.
Do you think you'll keep playing after Godforge, or do you think you'll take a break?
I think I'll take a break for Godforge. I just want to really focus on Godforge and the content creation of it. And Raid just
Yeah.
takes up so much time. And
It does.
for me, it's tough to play casually. I'd want to go in, and it bothers me if I don't get all my dailies done. So
Yeah.
probably be putting it down and fully focusing on Godforge.
I'm the same way. That was one of the things that drove me crazy about Raid. Like, I couldn't not get my Hydra swings in for the week, and that was my least favorite thing because it was so time consuming to back out to start a run over to get a good score. But whatever that mental block is, I don't know if it's some level of OCD. It's like, no, you got to get them in. Got to get those in. You got to get that daily done for the green shard that you're never going to use.
Yeah. How am I going to survive without this 20 energy?
Yep.
I need to do my 5 summons to get my 20 energy or whatever.
Yeah, your conspiracy theory with the button, I would add to that and say I would give the conspiracy theory that they also make it a delay. It's not a delay in the software for the event to pop up, right? They're waiting for the natural amount of time it takes you to go hit that button.
Yep. And then they have that other one in the top left that drives you crazy because when you're trying to do anything, it covers up what you need to click on. The little banner that pops up when you hit like a new level, an event or something, or unlock one of the awards. And then you try and back out of something and that button's right there. So it takes you to a totally different screen, like to collect the reward for completing one of the dailies. And you're like, no, I wanted to go start this battle. I don't want to be back at the home screen.
Yeah. Oh, good old Raid. Good old Raid.
Yep.
It's a good game, you know. Anybody that's listening that hasn't played Raid, I mean, what can you say? It's a good game. You'll enjoy it, right? It'll just then start taking up all your time and you'll potentially spend way too much money on pointless things.
100%. Totally agree.
Yeah, I was going through Rare Heroes with Dan and Gecko yesterday now, so that video should come out on Gecko's channel at some point in the next few days. But now that the website's up and we can see all the characters, it was interesting, you know, grading the rares. I kind of already came up with the speed team because we were noticing like you've got a rare in Aslog that does speed up and 2 different turn meter boosts between the core and the ultimate. And then with Dagonet, you've got a defense down, but also some vanish and debuff shenanigans. And I was just like, there you go. I mean, you'll probably get a Dagonet and an Aslog within the first, week of the game opening, if not the first day. And that's 2 out of your 4. And then your damage dealer. So what's your third slot, right? We're pretty much all going to have either our starter damage dealer or like a Sun Wukong or something from the minigame. So it's that third slot that I'm really interested in now. But that I think is the basis for like the Arbiter Apothecary or Haikatoon Apothecary speed team,
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to go through all the rares and epics. I haven't yet. I kind of jumped around some of the legendaries and specifically the ones in the minigames. But I noticed they were talking about it in chat today. I noticed the same thing. A lot of the ascension bonuses were kind of screwy on some of the heroes.
Yeah.
There were some that were just straight up missing them. Some had 1, but it looked like it was supposed to be on their passive, not their core or basic. There was some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of kits that are in development. There's a lot of typos.
Yep.
There's a lot of missing awakening bonuses. And of course, they reserve the right still to change anything. I think even probably during early access, they'll still be doing a lot of kit adjustments when they see how it works in the real world.
Yeah, I would definitely expect a bunch of like kit adjustments, multiplier adjustments, stuff like that, just to be ongoing, at least through early access. Then maybe a little less frequent on full launch.
Hopefully it doesn't. It's not just a circus for 4 months.
Yep.
Was Raid your first gacha game, or do you go back to like Star Wars and Marvel Strike Force and all that?
So for the longest time, I thought Raid was my first gacha game, and then I just randomly remembered there was an old game for Kingdom Hearts that had a mobile game. I think it was like Kingdom Hearts UX or something like that. and I got into it just following one of the streamers I follow on Twitch. I picked it up off of him streaming it, and it's a gacha. You kind of roll to get heroes and weapons, and spent way too much money on it, and then kind of put it down and forgot about it. And then I want to say it was at least a couple of years later when I got to Raid. So Raid's technically my second one.
Technically the second. Did you get into that because you were a Kingdom Hearts fan then?
I wasn't actually that big into Kingdom Hearts. It was more just watching. I saw the streamer playing it on Twitch, and it just looked real interesting.
I played the first Kingdom Hearts. I think like there was a little bit of a morbid fascination with like Disney meets Final Fantasy. The Final Fantasy piece was what I really cared about. The Disney was like take it or leave it, but it was not too. I'd have to look it up. I remember playing Mario RPG, and Mario RPG had a Final Fantasy boss in it, which was kind of funny. And then Kingdom Hearts later in life comes out, and I thought that maybe it was going to have like a similar vibe to it, but then it became its own thing. I haven't played a Kingdom Hearts in like 20 years now.
Yep.
What would you say is like kind of your gaming history? What's the stuff that you're normally drawn to?
Mostly console. I first started playing on, like, I think it was technically my uncle's Nintendo that he lent down to us. And then from there
Original
went to Sega
Nintendo.
Genesis. Yep. And then had a Sega Genesis, then N64, and then I just went through all the PlayStations. I stuck with PlayStation from 1 to 5. I think they're on 5 now, right?
Yeah.
But mostly a lot of shooters, the typical stuff. A lot of Call of Duty with my friends. I was big into Final Fantasy. We got big into Destiny. I know a couple other guys were talking about Destiny.
Yeah.
Put a whole lot of hours into that.
Destiny 1 or 2 or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Played 1 a lot more, I want to say, because I had a bigger group of friends that all jumped in for Destiny 1. And then we all kind of rolled to Destiny 2, but then we kind of slowly started falling off. A couple people dropped off here and there and didn't play as frequently, so we kind of died out on Destiny 2, but still had a blast for the early parts of the game.
Did you do all the raids in the first one?
I think I did all the raids in the first one, yeah.
Nice. I had a lot of fun doing the raids in the first one, like the few times that I did them, but never did play the second one.
Yeah, I think by the time the second one came out, we might have done the first raid, but I don't think we did any more than that, if we even did the first raid.
Yeah. It's so funny how many shooter players there are in the gacha world. It still kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
Finding...
I think once those reflexes start to go, you're like, oh, maybe turn-based is still my speed.
Yeah, we age out of shooters.
Yeah.
And then we start playing
Still
Marvel
playing
Rivals.
them, but I never do well. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we think we're good,
Yep.
Can't rank in Fortnite at this point in life. Call of Duty, though, man. Do you still play it any?
No, I haven't played the last couple.
Oh, okay.
Even,
nice.
like, I want to say Black Ops. What are they on now? I was going to say Black Ops 2, but I think they're up to, like, 6 or something now.
Yeah, and then Modern Warfare and all that.
I think I picked up Black Ops 6.
Black Ops 7.
And that was
last year.
I think Black Ops 6 is the last one that I actually picked up, and I barely played it, and I was like, all right, I'm not buying another one every year when I've barely played this one.
What was your favorite Final Fantasy?
I'm always torn between 7 and 8, because I think when 7 came out, I just didn't take it that seriously, and then I got really deep into 8 when that came out. So I usually kind of lean towards 8, but I really love them both.
Yeah. I've never beaten 8. I've gotten pretty far, but I think, I suffer from this problem with Final Fantasies where I get far enough in the story that the world opens up and I can do all the side quests, and then I just sort of like lays out, doing side quests and forget to ever go back and finish the story. And with 8, I remember it was that frickin' card game. I was going around playing the card game against every
Forget
NPC in the freaking game.
triple triads or something like that. I think I actually technically beat 9 first because I
Oh,
borrowed it from one of my friends, and they kept hounding me like, "Hey, can I get the game back? Can I get the game back?" So I like had forced myself to beat it so I could give it back to him. And then I did the same thing with 7 and 8, just kind of got to the open world at the end and kind of jumped into something else and lost my focus on it. But after I
yeah.
beat 9, I went back and finished both of those.
Did you try remake?
I played the first game of the remake and I liked it, but it was just kind of the same thing. I got busy and then
Yeah.
you forget what you're doing and then it's hard to pick back up.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do want to get back into it still.
You should try Arknight's Enfield if you haven't tried it yet.
I haven't tried it yet.
It's got a lot of the Final Fantasy kind of feel to it in terms of the way that you unlock like exploration progression and a lot of the quest system, a lot of the characters, the stuff that the characters want to do, and then a real sort of heady science fiction, pseudo religious nature like overstory. But it's got the gotcha mechanics, right? So it's like
Yeah.
1 minute you're playing Final Fantasy 15 and the next minute you're popping shards, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like I started playing, is it Destiny Rising? I played that for a little bit and it was interesting. Playing a Destiny game and then hopping in the menu and pulling shards and then jumping back into Destiny.
Is it like is it turn-based?
Not Destiny Rising.
I gotta look it up. I don't know anything about that one.
It's basically just they made Destiny for mobile, but you can actually pull the heroes that you use.
Oh, instead of just being one of the 3 archetypes or whatever.
Yep.
What are you playing right now if it's not working on Godforge content?
I did dabble in Mega Bonk when you did your whole series on it.
Oh,
that
nice.
was a lot of fun.
Nice. Had you played a Survivors game before?
No, I hadn't.
Ah,
So
okay.
it was pretty new for me, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Vampire
Well,
Survivors is fun. I mean, it looks janky, you know, graphics wise, but like if you enjoy the play style of Megabonk, it's worth putting like 10 to 20 hours into Vampire Survivors.
Nice. I've been playing a little bit of Etheria Restart on top of Raid, but that's kind of been getting phased out just from the Raid time sink and losing interest after a little bit.
Yeah. What's your video cadence right now? Are you dropping a video a week?
I think I have like this year, but for a little while it was like once a month, one every couple weeks. It's been real inconsistent.
Yeah, I think people underestimate the amount of time it takes to create a video until you get your flow going, right? Like I was talking to Scratch about it a little bit, and he was saying, you know, you do a news video, a hero guide, a level guide, or something like that, and he's got this like rotation where it fits into a schedule, and then you know, Sneaky really good at doing a lot of stuff in OBS. That's a lot of the things that he and I have talked about. He's like, save yourself as much time as possible on the edit side by getting all of your scenes together in OBS, basically, so that you can transition without editing,
Yep.
and then reduce all the time to get that stuff done.
Definitely makes a lot of sense.
You think you'll be doing a video a day when it comes out?
I don't know. If I get to streaming, maybe. Because then it's just a quick edit while I remember what I did. Because if you try and push off the editing, you're just going to forget what happened, and it'll take a little longer for the editing. But editing's definitely the biggest time sink right now. I don't know if I've scripted a couple of videos, but mostly it's just kind of off the cuff, so there's a lot of times that I just mess something up and then try it a few different ways, and then I gotta remember when I edited. It's like I'm watching this over and I'm like, oh no, this isn't the one that I wanted to cut. I want to cut this one.
Yeah. The Megabonk video was hard for that reason. I think
bet.
the Godforge videos will be a lot easier because it doesn't require some RNG to happen magically, right? Unless that's the video you're making. Where Megabonk,
Yep.
it's like I had to get the things to be in the level. But hunting through 2 hours worth of capture footage for the moments, for like the thing that I'm trying to explain, that was really time consuming.
Yeah, that sounds wicked painful. Luckily,
Yeah.
most of the stuff I've done is guides on like when we get the hero kit reveals that they've been feeding us every couple months. So that stuff's a little easier, not as time intensive.
Who'd you decide to take from the minigame?
Right now, I have Athena locked in on the main, and I have a free to play secondary account that has Sun Wukong on it.
Nice. Okay.
But I haven't done any of the new summons yet. Obviously, as my
Yeah.
thumbnail might have shown, I'm hunting for Vivian for at least one of the accounts.
Yeah.
But I think Athena and Sun Wukong are both great, so I'd be happy with both of them.
I've got Vivian on the free to play account because Team Season to the moon on the main account.
Yep.
So ride or die, damage dealer.
That was a phenomenal video. Season to the moon, the drinking. It was Adam and Papa Tez, right?
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was so much fun. That was even though we were shooting for 4 hours, I think, and we were all pretty over it at the end. It was hilarious the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope we can do some of those when the game actually comes out, but 3,000 shards is either going to cost a lot of money or a lot of time not making a shard pull video.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be pretty insane to save up. Maybe 3,000 green shards hunting for that 0.0005% legendary.
That's going to be fun. That's actually a great idea right there, because we could easily turn that into a drinking game.
Yeah.
If it was like all greens or something like that instead of all blues. Yeah, that's a good
all
idea.
greens. If you pull an epic. Because I think epics are still, what, 0.1 or something like that, or 0.5?
Yeah, still super low chance.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that'll be like 10,000 shard pop video.
Probably.
No matter how rapid
I have
fire
like
you make it.
13,000 in raid.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Let's transition to one of our other topics and talk a little bit about music.
Cool.
What is your flavor of music?
Mostly anything. Probably country is the thing I'm the least into, but big into almost anything else. I played trumpet from 3rd grade through high school, so I was always kind of in like the music classes. We had kind of like a magnet school for high school, so we had music theory as one of our classes, and then if you played an instrument, you had band practice for one of your classes. So kind of went through a whole bunch of different, you go through classical and opera and stuff that you wouldn't normally listen to going through those classes.
Did you ever try to play trumpet in like a non-school band?
Nope. One time a friend in high school said something about, hey, we might be putting a ska band together. Are you interested?
There you go.
And at that point, I had never heard of ska. So I was like, I don't know what it is, but sure, why not? And that never actually manifested, so never got into that. But
Oh, you never even like had one practice and tried to write a song or anything?
Nope. But it's funny because that was in high school and I had no idea what ska was, but then by the time I got into college, I was listening to Sublime, Streetlight Manifesto. There's another Real Big Fish.
Yeah, good old Real Big Fish. Well, I see, seeing the Patriots hat, I just immediately think the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. That would be, you got to be close to the Northeast, and that they were all over the Northeast.
Yeah, I always forget about them.
They're such an interesting band in the world of ska for a few different reasons. They kind of pioneered the hardcore ska crossover. So third wave ska, was really more of a, well, specifically like punk third wave ska really came out of like Fishbone and Operation Ivy. Fishbone and Operation Ivy kind of kicked it off, and then a lot of bands, picked up on the idea around the mid 80s. before everybody was doing it, right? And so Boss Tones were doing, I can't remember if they were a hardcore band before they were a ska band, but they were in the hardcore scene. So like the first album they ever did is really like straight up a hardcore album with horns in it. And then they became a more traditional ska band. But Dickie Barrett's voice was so iconic, you know. But then they became ultra famous because they had like the hit singles, you know. And so they spanned this gambit of like the most bizarre sort of underground thing you could be to being basically the most successful you could possibly be as a ska band.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I didn't know the history of them that much, but obviously know their hits.
Yeah. My favorite song is Illegal Left, and it's not because of the whole song, it's because the first 30 seconds of Illegal Left is like one of the greatest intros to a song ever, and by the time they get into the song, I'm like, I just go back and listen to the beginning again. I'm like, man, I wish they had done something different. I wish they'd made a song out of this intro. Their saxophone player asked me if he knew me one time. I thought it was the weirdest thing. We were at Warped Tour, just walking down the merch aisle, basically, of all these merch booths, and the saxophone player's sitting on the table, and he just goes, hey. And I was like, looked over. He's like, do I know you? I know you, don't I? And I went over and I was like, where would you know me from? He's like, man, you look so familiar. I don't know if he was just trying to sell me a shirt.
Yeah. You look real familiar, and you'd look great in this t-shirt.
Yeah.
Warped Tour. I only made it to one of the Warped Tours. That was quite the experience.
Good experience?
Yeah, it was great. It was funny because we had to park in some grass lot on this hill, and it was a hot day when it came around. So me and my friend were just dying in the heat, got pretty sunburnt, and obviously we were drinking the whole time. And at one point, one of the beer cart ladies was like, "Oh, are you guys doing okay?" And we're like, "Oh, maybe we look pretty rough, like out in this heat." And so we're all sunburnt up and trying to crawl into the car that's on a hill. And we're like, oh, this is brutal. Just, all the sunburns and everything killing.
But the music was worth it, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. It was a great time.
Yeah, I got one of the worst sunburns of my life at a Warped Tour. It was like whole forehead became a blister. I'm sure that someday I'm going to have like a screening and surgery for it, but...
Yeah, I left my shirt on. My friend took his off and just had a tank top on, and his shoulders were just bright red. Like, it was awful.
He had the tank top lines on his body with the sunburn. Classic burn.
But yeah, it was great. One of the local bands was playing, 4 Year Strong. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
That name sounds familiar. Look that up.
Funny story. I was actually in Boy Scouts with the lead singer.
Oh, cool.
He's a few years older, so we didn't really interact that much because he was kind of out of it when I was getting into it. But his dad was actually one of the assistant scoutmasters, so he would drive us on trips to wherever we were camping, and he would like play their demo in the car and stuff like that before they had music out. So it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, what hip hop do you listen to? Because you said you got by Raidzilla.
Yep, definitely. Huge Eminem fan, but I love old stuff too. Wu-Tang, Biggie, Pac. Even some of the underground stuff. Like my friends were big on Ill Bill and all those guys.
Ooh, I don't know.
Can't remember who they were with.
Non-fiction, spelled like Godforge fiction. And he runs a record label. Yeah, I'll have to check him out too because I don't know anything about him. And he's been in a death metal band. Okay. Yeah, did you go to a lot of shows?
Not really. That's one thing that I definitely wish I did more of.
Yeah.
I was lucky to see Wu-Tang twice when they came to the area.
Oh, wow.
I actually think once was at Mohegan Sun, which you were just talking about with Dan.
Oh, what a cool show that would have been. Oh, man.
Yep. And once was a different place down in Connecticut, and they were actually touring with, I think it was the New York State of Mind, where they had Nas and Busta Rhymes. So that was an incredible show.
Wow. Did you see him when they still had ODB?
No, I didn't see him when they still had OBD. ODB.
Yeah.
It was actually his son was touring with him.
Oh, cool. Was
So
he
it
doing
was actually cool
all
seeing his
dad's
son.
lines?
Yeah, it was actually pretty spot on, so it was great.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. ODB came to New Orleans when I was living in the South, but by himself. And at the time, I wasn't like the biggest Wu-Tang fan. Like I'm a late bloomer when it comes to Wu-Tang. I think I started getting into him in like 2012-ish is when I really started to appreciate it. But I remember thinking to myself, oh man, we should get a group of friends and go over to New Orleans and see ODB. And living in the South in the early 2000s and being a white guy with a bunch of white friends, the prospect of seeing ODB as a solo show in the heart of New Orleans was kind of daunting. It was a little bit of a fish out of water sort of risk-taking decision.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it would have been fine. You know, I've seen plenty of shows in New Orleans that are very rowdy and never felt like any problems were going to happen.
It's pretty funny because I was pretty late to Wu-Tang too. It was really like college when I started really appreciating them. And like freshman year, everyone was just kind of passing around their external hard drives and just copying music off of everybody.
Yeah.
And one guy had a bunch of Wu-Tang on his computer, so kind of that's when I really got into them.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty much like a number one sort of band for me. I never really did get into Eminem. I appreciate the talent, but the songs just never grabbed me. And I think one of the things I like about Wu-Tang is that you get 7 lyricists in one song, right? So the vibe shifts verse to verse. It's not just like a verse chorus structure, right? It's like guest appearance, and then like a guest appearance flow into another guest appearance, which is fun. But with like an Eminem song, maybe he's got 1 or 2 people on there, but it's like him doing a verse chorus sort of setup on most of his songs, the ones that I've heard at least.
Yeah, it's definitely like that. Trying to remember who was on it. If you haven't seen it, there's a Tim Westwood Wu-Tang freestyle, and it's got Method Man, Master Killer, and I forget who was on it with them.
Oh, okay, on Tim Westwood TV. Yeah, I'll have to check this out.
U-God.
Pop.
U-God was with them.
U-God.
So that's crazy freestyle.
There was that one somebody posted. I want to say it was like Korgel, maybe, that posted that freestyle, like Redman in Japan, rapping about smoking weed in Japan. That was pretty interesting. Just walking around the streets. I was like, this feels risky.
Yeah, some local hip-hop too. Joyner Lucas, he kind of blew up. And there's another kid, Token, who's kind of closer to Boston than I am, but he's doing pretty good too. He has a cool freestyle on Sway. Sway in the morning.
Sway. Well, I don't know Sway. What is that?
He's just, I think he was one of the MTV VJs early on, and he's on Shady 4-5, whatever it is, Sirius XM or whatever. So he hosts a morning show.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm not like super into the show, but I've seen a bunch of the freestyles that he posts.
YouTube show or like on a radio station?
He has a radio station show.
Okay.
It's on the Eminem station.
On Sirius?
On Sirius, yeah.
Okay.
But they post freestyles all the time on YouTube.
It's weird how, like, you know, radio died and then Sirius and XM kind of came up, like satellite radio came up, and then eventually like they lost so much of their audience that they merged, and it's like this whole ecosystem of shows and whatnot that I just have no exposure to because we don't, we got it once for like a year with a car, and it's like, no, I'm
exactly
not gonna pay to extend this,
right.
And on the interstate
Same.
system in the United States, you can pretty much guarantee cell reception as long as you're on
Yep.
an interstate. So you can just sit there with YouTube on the whole time,
That's pretty much what I do. I got the YouTube
Yeah.
Music app, and that's on every day on the way to work.
Did you ever listen to AM radio at like 2 o'clock in the morning?
Nope.
There was this show. I know it still exists. Coast to Coast AM, and that was like before you could just have YouTube everywhere you went.
Yeah.
If you weren't one of those people who paid for satellite radio, and you're driving in the middle of the night, it was like hunt down the AM station where you can actually get reception as you're driving, and you'll tune into this Coast to Coast show, which was like Art Bell and George Norrie, I think, were the two hosts. And it's just all about like supernatural stuff and aliens. And so they would have like people on the show, and sometimes they were good faith actors that were like, yeah, I've been abducted. Sometimes they're just crazy people that were like, I've totally been abducted by Sasquatch that was a vampire. And like, it's the weirdest show.
It's awesome.
And, you're just trying to stay awake and you're listening to these weird stories. And it's all staticky, because it's AM radio. You're like, yeah, try to tune it, hear what he's saying.
I've always liked listening to my own music and obviously avoiding commercials, so even might have been during my first car, I had one of those, like, it was a cassette that had a wire that plugged into your CD player, your Walkman.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you just put the cassette in, play whatever CD on your Walkman, and listen to it through the car. So I've always kind of listened to my own music in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those. And then your cable would get worn out, and then like they would sell those little 3.5 cables at a gas station. They're like neon green.
I would just play the wrap it around and kind of lean the Walkman up and see if you get a good angle on the wire.
Yeah,
Used to
like,
play that game a lot.
Mush it, make
Yeah.
contact. It's like back you were talking about the original Nintendo, like blowing on cartridges because it won't work.
Yep.
Oh, the technology! It has
Yeah.
gotten, generally speaking, better.
Yep.
Well, on the topic of culture, did you have anything that came to mind?
I didn't have anything too crazy that I could think of. I'm basically New England through and through. It doesn't always come through, but sometimes I got a pretty heavy Boston accent. So we can start talking about parking the car in Harvard Yard, and going
Yeah,
off the
you
rip
do
like
it.
that.
You'll lose ours all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, especially if I'm like on those days when I don't sleep well and get a little extra tired at work, it'll come out, or drinking, it'll definitely come out. I'll just start dropping ours all over the place.
We talked to so many UK folk on this particular, in this community for obvious reasons, and I'm always fascinated by you can go like 30 miles and you get a new accent. But I think in the United States, for a lot of people who don't live here, they don't understand that there's like a Boston accent, that there's like a heavy New England accent, and there's also like a Fargo accent. There's like a heavy Minnesota accent. Those are kind of the two that people sort of forget about.
Yeah. Yep, and then you got the New York too. Want a hot dog?
Oh yeah.
Let me get a glass of water.
My cousin in New Orleans, he's not from New York, but one year I was asking him what he got for Christmas, and he was like, I got a hamster. And I was like, where are you from, dude? You were born in New York, weren't you? What is this? That is not New Orleans.
Yeah. Sometimes my Boston comes out pretty heavy. I'll throw out like oh, that's wicked pissa, and stuff like that.
What are some of the other kind of quintessential things in the Northeast? Like I know lobster rolls, right? Lobster rolls, Old Bay. Or is Old Bay more of like a New Jersey thing?
Yeah, I think Old Bay is New Jersey, Maryland.
Okay.
But definitely lobster rolls, which is kind of funny because I'm not really big into seafood. I'll kind of do like scallops, fried clam strips, that kind of stuff, but I don't get into really fish or lobster that much.
No.
But lobster rolls are huge in the area. Love going up to Maine. That's kind of a pretty New England thing. Either go up to Maine or Cape Cod.
Yeah. Rhode Island. You ever go over to Rhode Island?
Not a lot. Providence is just such a mess to drive through.
Oh yeah.
So I usually kind of try to avoid going down there. We did do like a couple work trips where we did like day trips down to Newport, and we hopped on a boat, did a little tour around the harbor down in Newport. Nice thing about Rhode Island is it takes an hour to drive across the whole state.
Yeah.
It's such a small state.
I got to look it up. That same trip when I did Mohegan Sun, I did the place in the United States that's credited with creating the hamburger. Yeah, I think it's this Lewis's Lunch place. That's it. Yeah, I see the picture now. It's wild. Credited with creating the hamburger, but like when you get the hamburger, when they're cooking it, they have these like tall, skinny, like iron ovens, and it's like they put the burger patty in like you're toasting bread.
That's weird.
It is, yeah. And then they serve it on bread. Yeah, such a weird place. I need to go up there more. There's 2 states I still haven't driven through. One is Maine, and the other is Hawaii. I've driven every other state in the United States. Oh, wow. So like, but my time in the Northeast was real limited, and I do love me some Mohegan Sun. So I think it's on the menu. But kind of back to like the culture in the area. So if you're not into seafood, what does the non-seafood Northeast do really well?
I don't know if we really have anything that stands out around here. Like, there's some local spots with kind of random stuff. Like, we have a really good hot dog spot. It's called Coney Island, but it has nothing to do with the famous New York one. Yeah. I think as far as like food goes, that would probably be more of like something with my family. My mom's side is kind of heavily Italian, so get a ton of good food on that side. You know, do all the classic Italian American stuff: sausage, pepper, and onions, eggplant parmesan. My mom makes a mean lasagna. We love appetizers like bruschetta and caprese.
Oh man, yeah. You're kidding me. I'm on my keto diet right now, so all these
definitely don't want that
foods
stuff with
sound
keto.
good.
Yeah. Definitely loaded with carbs. One of my aunt makes a bunch of the Italian cookies. So we get like pizzelles and Annie's cookies, biscotti, all that around Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, man, if you don't like seafood. Well, I was kind of the same way growing up, though. I grew up on the water and I hated seafood. I would only eat like canned tuna fish till I discovered sushi. And that's what kind of broke me of it. And then, of course, once you get into sushi, you start eating like weird stuff that humans aren't supposed to eat. Like sea urchin and octopus and fish eggs.
Yep. Yeah, where I went to college, they're like one of the dining halls is really well known and got like awards and stuff, and they do a sushi like every Friday or something, and tried it once up there and just still didn't go down well. Something with seafood I don't like. But besides that, I'm not really a picky eater. Like, I'll pick up almost anything else.
Yeah. Still just I was thinking the other day, like I remain a meat and potatoes kind of person. Like, give me the option and I'll eat like steak and broccoli.
Oh yeah. I could do steak every night. That'd be great.
Yeah. It's one of those, just doesn't. We went to a Mexican restaurant the other day, and somebody was like, hey, the reason I picked this restaurant is because they have a good steak. And I was like, why'd we come to a Mexican restaurant for a steak? But she was right. It was a good steak. It had this really cool, like, kind of sweet glaze on it. Oh, cool, man. Well, so we'll put the YouTube below. I'll put the Twitch below. And then for the people of the future who are coming back in time when the game has launched, the Twitch should be live as well. And you said you might try streaming on YouTube as well. Yeah,
if my computer agrees with me, I'll definitely be doing some streaming.
Yeah,
it's actually cool because I know YouTube has that I forget what they call it, but the feature where you can tag all the channels together, working together.
Yeah.
I was just messing around on Twitch trying to set some stuff up earlier this week, and they have a similar thing where you can stream with somebody and like merge your chats and everything.
Oh, cool.
So
like,
definitely going to try
but
and do
not
some like collabs on stream and stuff like that.
you're not in the same room. You're remote. You're both streaming with your video footage up, but you have a single merge chat.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. I didn't look too deep into it, but
That's really
it
cool.
had a few panes, and I was reading over the panes.
That's really cool. I have to look into that. Twitch probably does something like that, and I just don't even know about it. But honestly, the only time I really ever watch Twitch is if JGigs or George is streaming. Like that's pretty much it. Sometimes I'll watch Quinn when he's on because it's funny, but like, you know, the only time I'm forcing myself to pull Twitch up is when it's one of the two of them.
Used to be the opposite for me. I got really into Twitch probably coming out of high school, college. And then once I got into Raid, that's when I really started getting into the YouTube content.
Yeah. Yeah, because you look for the piece of information you need.
Yep. And then I kind of just totally got out of Twitch once I started watching more and more stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I was trying to think, how do I work in the giant shop button joke one last time before we wrap up? I was proud of my joke in the chat that only I think you and somebody else emojied on, but you know, catching up on a week's worth of chat, priceless. For everything else, there's giant shop button.
That one had me cracking up.
And as JGigs says, you know, I'm very funny to me. Well, thanks again for coming by the show, man. Appreciate you, and looking forward to seeing how the content evolves, and keep making controversial videos like that one.
Yeah, apparently I'll have to. Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
For sure. And thanks everybody for listening. Peace.